Poussons nos cris de joie. Tu es Dieu. Qui d'autre pouvons-nous louer si ce n'est pas toi, Jésus?
Nous te louons. Tu es Dieu. Qui d'autre pouvons-nous louer si ce n'est pas toi?
Oh oui, nous t'acclamons. Tu es roi. Qui d'autre pouvons-nous louer si ce n'est pas toi, Jésus?
Nous te louons. Tu es Dieu. Qui d'autre pouvons-nous louer si ce n'est pas toi?
Oh oui, qu'il soit loué, qu'il soit loué.
Jésus,
qu'il soit loué, qu'il soit loué.
le roi des rois.
Oui, qu'il soit loué, qu'il soit loué.
Jésus,
Jésus, le roi.
le roi des rois.
Oui, qu'il soit loué, qu'il soit loué.
Jésus,
Qui est Jésus, bien-aimé? Qui est Jésus?
le roi des rois.
Qu'il soit loué, qu'il soit loué.
Jésus,
Qu'il soit loué, qu'il soit loué.
le roi des rois.
Il est le même, il est le même, hier, aujourd'hui. Il est le même, son nom le Jésus.
Il est le même, il est le même, hier, aujourd'hui. Il est le même, éternellement.
Oui, moi j'ai chanté pour Jésus.
Il est le roi.
Il prend le prix de tout le temps.
Il est le roi.
Ma victoire et lui appartient.
Désormais, avec toi, Seigneur, je régnerai à jamais.
Oh oui, moi j'acclame pour Jésus.
Il est le roi.
On a mis de tout le temps.
Il est le roi.
Ma victoire et lui appartient.
Désormais, avec toi, Seigneur, je régnerai à jamais.
Oh oui, Emma, Emma, Emma.
Emmanuel,
Emma, Emma, Emma.
Emmanuel,
Oh oui, Emma, Emma, Emma.
Emmanuel,
Emma, Emma, Emma.
Emmanuel.
Oui, il y a un Dieu. Oui, il y a un Dieu. Oui, il y a un Dieu, maître des temps et des circonstances. Il y a un Dieu.
Oui, il y a un Dieu.
Il y a un Dieu.
Oui, il y a un Dieu.
Il y a un Dieu.
Oui, il y a un Dieu, maître des temps et des circonstances.
C'est lui qui a transformé ma vie. C'est lui qui m'a donné la paix, la joie. C'est vrai, il y a un Dieu, maître de temps et des circonstances. Il y a un Dieu,
Il y a un Dieu.
il y a un Dieu.
Il y a un Dieu.
Bien-aimé, il y a un Dieu.
Il y a un Dieu, maître des temps et des
Oh
circonstances.
oui, il y a un roi, un roi.
Il y a 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 un roi, maître des temps et des circonstances.
Ça va changer. Dans peu de temps, ça va changer.
Ça va changer.
Dans peu de temps.
Peu de temps.
Dans situation.
Ça va changer.
Dans peu de temps.
Peu de temps.
Dans situation.
Ça va changer.
Dans peu de temps.
Peu de temps.
Dans la maladie.
Ça va changer.
Dans peu de temps.
Peu de
Dans
temps.
la pauvreté.
Ça va changer.
Dans peu de temps.
Peu de
Dans
temps.
la pauvreté.
Ça va changer.
Dans peu de temps.
Peu de temps.
Pour son cri de joie. Dans peu de temps.
Peu de temps.
Ça va changer.
Ça va changer.
Et dans peu de temps.
Peu de temps.
Pour son cri de joie, bien-aimé. Ça va changer. Ça va changer. Et dans peu de temps. Son cri de joie. Dans peu de temps. Acclamons Jésus. Et dans peu de temps. Il est Seigneur. Et dans peu de temps. Il est là, Jésus. Avec les yeux. Simon Kamel, allez m'aguider, appelle 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 Simon Kamel, allez m'aguider, maman.
Congratulations à Nathalie à set up.
Yeah.
a comme inspiration pour Abano Yamike Bazoya, bande connaît Abashi le col Amibali. J'espère que Akosuka Wanate, il faut peut-être que nous un doctorate.
Bon, on a qui pour moi là. De là c'est classe, a eu diplôme naie, a graduation. Que c'est là. Ezaele mumalamu kuna baleki pe balanda. Nzambe merci.
Tosepeli mingi topesi ka Nzambe merci po mwana na biso alakisi baleki na ye ke nzela ndenge ekoleka balanda ye. Nzambe merci tokumisi kaka Nzambe.
En tout cas, dokume pa ya Nzambe. Puis ndenge apesaki biso pe tosali mosala oyo atinda ye tosala yango to remercier tozali kokumisa Nzambe ezala exemple munene po ya bao balandi. Merci.
Yeah, congratulations to my sister. Yeah. She did it better than the best could.
Yeah. Ande nazal boso na bino lelo za mkola sengo. Mwana ki oja hii ngasisa ki class lelo mwana yaya na ngasisa ki class. Lelo sengo mimi na bisa rabi to encourager para na biso ko baza ba kiti rabi na biso bo. Merci beaucoup. Toke na collation.
Only kono ya sambaya to komina mo kamel mama le mo kamel le wa faso ha sambi ke bon il est bon dansez pour Jésus obina kamel il est magi soit ali zambe ale magi soit ali zambe ale magi soit ali zambe Comme ça, bien aimé, comme ça. Qui s'appelle là, qui s'appelle bien, là qui s'appelle bien. Là qui s'appelle bien.
Stop enjoying it.
Will you please stand?
this wonderfully happy day. I formally declare this congregation of the University of Portsmouth open. Please be seated.
Too often, whenever we turn on the news or open a paper, we are faced with a barrage of bad news. It would be so easy to be pessimistic. And then a day like today comes along and I see passionate, highly skilled people such as you ready to reshape our world. It is a tremendous feeling and a welcome reminder that our future is in good hands. Of course, that does not mean that your future journeys are going to be easy, but what is clear is that the demand for the kind of graduate skills you have developed continues to grow. Your University of Portsmouth qualification has real value in the UK and on a global stage, as it provides the edge that will be vital to tackle the many challenges that the world faces. Today you are graduating from a university that is recognised as part of the modern global elite of universities. A university that is bold, not old. A university which is a catalyst for change and which has a strong sense of energy, flexibility and dynamism. A university committed to providing the very best experience, an experience that leads our graduates to make a real contribution to society. Almost 90% of our graduates from last year were in work or further study within 6 months of graduation, which is an incredible achievement in the current economic climate. But remember that in graduating today, you are part of a privileged minority that has had the advantage of a university education. And with that privilege comes responsibility. Please reflect upon your obligations as graduates of our university. You are trustees of the skills and abilities you have developed. I urge you to use those talents to help enrich society and make a difference for the benefit of others.
Honorary Graduate Baroness Elena Kennedy QC, Principal of Mansfield College, Oxford. She was also President of the School of Oriental and African Studies at the University of London and is a lifetime peer of the House of Lords. Amongst the many boards that she has served and continues to serve include being the chair of Charter 88, the Human Genetics Commission, and the British Council. She's also chaired the Power Inquiry, which reported on the state of British democracy. She exerted extraordinary influence in persuading New Labour to embrace a reform agenda, which eventually led to the incorporation of the European Convention on Human Rights into British law and a range of constitutional reforms, including changes to the House of Lords. She has practiced at the bar for 40 years in the field of criminal law and has conducted many leading cases in those years, including the Balcombe Street siege, the Brighton bombing trial, the Guildford 4 appeal, the Michael Bettany espionage case, the jihadist fertilizer bomb plot, and the transatlantic bomb plot. The chair of Justice and co-chair of International Bar Association's Institute of Human Rights. She's received 37 honorary doctorates, is an honorary fellow of the British Academy and the Royal Society of Edinburgh. In addition, the governments of France and Italy have also honored her. She's championed law reform for women, especially relating to sexual and domestic violence, and developed the defense of battered women syndrome in British courts. She's also the leading voice for equal opportunities in the legal profession for women. She was a pioneer in that she was often a singular voice who wrote and broadcast on the plight of women and the discrimination they faced in the law. For her work in this vital area, she received the Times newspaper's Lifetime Achievement Award in 1999. In terms of education, Baroness Kennedy was a commissioner on the National Commission for Education 1991 to 93, and then chaired the Further Education Commission into Widening Participation, which produced the seminal report Learning Works in 1997.
By By the authority of the University and with great personal pleasure, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
I'm going to give up the kickboxing. I'm not normally incapacitated, but I'm afraid I have suffered a fracture to my foot. I want to say what an enormous honour this is for me to be receiving this honorary degree on the same day as all of you are graduating and from this wonderful university. I should say to Professor Ahluwalia, I just wish my mother were here, hearing all of that, because she was once stopped in the street and a woman said to her in Glasgow, "Mrs. Kennedy, how does your daughter do all the things she does? I read about her in the newspaper." And my mother said, "You haven't seen her skirting boards." So you see, even one's mother knows one's shortcomings. And I can honestly tell you, I have plenty of them. I was recently introduced as Helena Kennedy, the lawyer who represents women and other criminals. So not everyone speaks of me as Professor Ahluwalia did so eloquently today, and I want to thank him for his great generosity. This is a wonderful university, and you know why. You certainly, as the students who've been here, who are now graduating, know that it's a special place. And I love it because of its modernity, of the way that it really is establishing what it means to be a new university in a very changing world, and how we have to make our education adapt to that, and in order to make, for people who bring those special new skills into our world. And I think it's a terrific place, and as one to watch, I have no doubt it's going to be one of our greatest universities. Indeed, I think it already is. I want to just say to all of you that today is your special day, and it's wonderful to be sharing it with the people you love, your families. And I feel very honoured that I'm sharing it with you too. I always feel a lump in my throat on graduation days because it's such a precious moment, because it's both the end and the beginning. You know, it's the end of a special time, and you will have made great friends in the course of your period of study. You will have discovered new things. You'll have found out about things about yourself in the course of that. So all I would say to you is, in the end, you will keep learning all the way through your life, even though this is the marking of that great achievement of obtaining your qualification. The business of learning, as your parents and your friends in the audience will tell you, is actually happening all the way through your life. You learn about people. You learn about how our world ticks. You learn about, and you learn new skills. And our world is expecting us to be capable of learning new stuff and adapting. And so this is just the beginning of that great learning journey. And the world is wonderful. And learning new things is wonderful. So keep your curiosity, keep it alive, and be prepared and willing to learn new things, knowing what you know today, which is that you can do it. My piece of advice to all of you, and you can hear it from listening to that catalogue of things that I've done, is that I've always been somebody, the girl who couldn't say no. I believe that actually saying yes should be your default position. Try to make it your habit that you say yes to things, because it opens up doors that you just didn't know were going to lead to such exciting and interesting opportunities. And so my default position is to say yes, and sometimes I have to stop myself. And someone said to me yesterday, "This is God telling you to slow down a bit." But all I would say is, say yes as much as possible. Don't make it your instinct to say no to things. embrace the world, and you'll find that exciting things come your way. And that comes to my second bit of advice, which is sometimes we have to overcome a sort of inner fear, you know, am I going to be able to do it? And you probably all felt this as you embarked on your studies, you know, am I going to be able to do this? And at times you pause and wonder whether you're actually going to get through. Everybody has those moments of hesitation. I can assure you that in a career in the law, there were often occasions where, you know, I would be going into a higher court. I'd be doing something in the Court of Appeal, or now in the Supreme Court. And you still have those moments of thinking, oh my God, am I going to be able to make a good fist of this? And all I have to say to you is be brave. Yes, you can do it. And reach for the things that are difficult. And just say, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it my best. And you often will find that actually, yes, of course you can do it. I love a poem that was written by Christopher Loeb. He used to translate the classics and classical poems, but make them modern. And he translated a piece from Homer in the most wonderful way, and it goes like this. Come to the edge. It's too far. Come to the edge. It's too high. Come to the edge. And they went, and he pushed, and they flew. And it's short, but it's telling you that often the things that we're frightened of are things that lead to wonderful outcomes for us, and that we do learn to fly. And you've learned to fly, and that's what you're being credited with today, is the flight that you've taken. But we need those hands, and that's what our teachers do. That's what our professors and the academics in this great university have done, is that they've been the hand that has pushed you, as indeed your parents did. My husband only the other day, watching our daughter who's just about to qualify as a doctor, he said, I remember as a little girl when she used to say, Daddy, hold the back of the bike, when she was learning to ride a two-wheeler. And that point where he let go of it, and she cycled off down the path on her own. And he said, this is the beginning of the end for me as a daddy, because she's going to be able to do it herself. And that's the truth, is that we have to provide helping hands to people, but we also have to be prepared ourselves to take the risk. So be brave, do what you fear, and you will go far. But I want to also mention that hand, that helping hand. None of us ever succeed in life without help from others. Whatever you hear, none of us get to places of success without the enormous support and help we get from our families, the people who are here with you today, the people you love, your beloved. And we also get it from our friends who, you know, when things that are going is tough, are the people who are there for us. We get it from our teachers and from the people who have taught us and been supportive when we've sometimes wondered whether we could do it. But we also get it from people, you know, who are the people who do things almost invisibly for us, who make us tea, you know, the people who serve us in canteens, the people who clean up after us. And to remember to say thank you to everybody is such an important lesson for life, to show our gratitude for the small things as well as the great. And when people talk to me about human rights, they always sort of, you know, kind of have this imagining, and it's true that my work now is about great abuses internationally and looking at the trafficking of people for exploitation and for sexual purposes and horrible things that are happening to people around the world. But you know, abuses happen in small ways too. You know, human rights abuse can be happening to our neighbour through the horrible indignities that people visit upon people who are different because of race, because of other differences, the ways in which women experience domestic violence. So often life can be disfigured by not respecting the dignity of another human being. And so it starts in small ways, and it starts around the kitchen table, and it starts about being respectful to each other, the people we're close to, and respectful to the people who do things for us in our daily round. So remember always to say thank you, and you'll have opportunities today, as your Vice-Chancellor said, to say thank you to the many people who have helped. I want to just say, don't make money the only thing that matters, and I'm not here saying that I don't want you all to do well, paid well, and paid appropriately for all the great things that you're going to be doing. And of course, I want you to look after your mothers and fathers in their old age. But I do think that we can, in our world, and our contemporary world is so preoccupied with money, and revering people who make a lot of money. But actually, most of us don't belong to that group of people. Most of us just go on with life, and people doing wonderful things are doing it because they love doing it. They are doing it because they find it fulfilling. They're doing it because they get job satisfaction. And many of those things are actually more enriching than money. So when you weigh up, will I take this job? Ask yourself about whether it's going to feed other bits of you, as well as the needs that we have that are provided for financially. There's also the business of being part of something bigger. That I look around our world and I see so many things that are going wrong. I look around our communities and our society, and many of us can find ways of making a difference, of giving something back. And if you can, and it's not always at the beginning of your career that you can, but if you can contribute in some ways, by volunteering or doing other things, it's terribly fulfilling. I mean, it really makes a difference to you. It makes you better at what you do in your full-time job. If you can give a bit of time helping in some way to make our societies and our communities stronger. And the last thing I want to say to you all is leave time for love. None of our lives are about the workplace. It's also about wanting to have relationships with other people, to love and be loved. And it would be a terrible thing to come to the end of a very successful career if you hadn't put enough effort and time into that too. And so I just want to wish you all every happiness, every success, and I want to thank you for sharing your day with me. Thank you very much.
A really important part of today, which is of course awarding the degrees to all of our students. And what will happen is the name of the student will be read out by someone from their programme area of study. The Chancellor will then shake the hand, and so will the Dean of the faculty of the area in which the student has studied. And we have a few magic words that we say in order to formally begin this part of the ceremony. I certify that all those presented at this ceremony have successfully completed their studies and have satisfied all the conditions and requirements of the university.
By the authority of the university, I confirm that all those who are admitted to the awards for which they are presented.
Chancellor, I present to you the following successful candidates for the award of Professional Graduate Certificate in Education in Business Studies. Amelia Butcher. Jonathan Kirkham. And for the Professional Graduate Certificate in Education in Computer Science, Robert Hughes. Callum Teeling. And for the Professional Graduate Certificate in Education in Early Years, Dan Bonney. Victoria Cresswell. Tracy Gerald. And for the Professional Graduate Certificate in Education in English, Georgia Burt. Abigail Dallin. Lewis Millerton. Katie Pickering. Harriet Pipe. Diane Presley. Harriet Rose. Laura Rogers. Emma Shepherd. Lisa Slaymaker. Rebecca Stevens. Claudia Stiebert. Jean Hazel Wall. Sarah Warrington. Leslie Weeks. Foundation degree of Arts in Learning Support and with distinction, Sarah Bond. And with distinction, Ashley Bridle. Katie Dawson. Mark Denman. Rashida Khan. Sarah Lazarus. Kaylee Margetts. Claire Shaw. And Rebecca Swindles. For the award of Bachelor of Arts in Childhood and Youth Studies, Enkalada Ali. Clarice Baptiste Melvin. Lucy Bennett. Mavis Botang. David Cairns. Hayley Chippendembe. Dambutso Chirero. Justine Coleman. Tamara Edwards. Hannah Famutini. Rachel Fletcher. Emily Hill. Artemis Karadimas. Shanice Paul. Paddy Lee. Becca Saylor Mathosa. And with first class honours, Amy Martin. Nathalie Bolonge. Michelle Muscat. Esther Nalubega. Nabila Nasser. And with first class honours, Natalie Newman. Afsana Neela. Caroline Noyce.
I present to you Emma Catherine Seal, who just graduated with a BA Honours in Childhood and Youth Studies, to respond on behalf of the graduates.
graduates, friends and family, we are extremely grateful that you are here in attendance today at our graduation of 2015. I'm humbled to be standing before you, representing my fellow students one last time. Everyone here, and those who could not be amongst us today, should be very proud of themselves. As a student representative, I've gotten to know many of you and can say in good faith that the last few years have been challenging, yet fun and enjoyable for every one of us. We have met a variety of faces, learnt much, and our education has changed the way we view the world. We would like to thank our lecturers and other staff at the University of Portsmouth for their never-ending support, as well as our friends and families for their faith in us. Without this support, many of us would have crumbled and fallen under the pressure. It was Albert Einstein who once said that intellectual growth should commence at birth and only cease at death. This quote reiterates the belief that learning is not just a process that we adhere to during education, but is lifelong and based not solely on the pursuit of knowledge, but also on a person's personal experiences. The ability to learn from this knowledge and experience shows a person's character, as well as their determination and motivation. Everyone in this room has expressed this throughout their degree programs. Not only is education a pathway to success in one's career, it also teaches us to reflect, critically analyse, and better understand the world. This understanding ensures our continual progression in all possible areas of our lives. I believe that my classmates would agree when I say that we are sad that the end is here, but we are also looking forward to some much-deserved time off. Congratulations to all education and continuing studies graduates. We have all worked incredibly hard to be here today. Class of 2015, we have achieved what at the beginning seemed like an impossible feat. I wish you all happiness and success in whatever comes next. Thank you.
Of being Chancellor, apart from, being allowed to dress up as a wizard, is that I get to pass on a few words at graduation. For the mature graduates, I doubt I can be very helpful. You have already made the brilliant decision to continue your education, and I applaud you for it. You are an inspiration to us all. People graduating today, the first thing I would say is that you are brilliant young people, and don't let anyone in the older generation tell you otherwise. I have great faith in you, and I can only apologize for the many messes my generation has been responsible for. Improving your mind, that ought to be a fundamental right, but there are millions of children across the world who are prevented from going to school each day. We don't know exactly, but there's approximately 775 million illiterate adults worldwide, with women representing 2/3 of them. I'm sure lots of you saw in the news last week, it was a very affecting photograph of a 9-year-old boy called Daniel Cabrera, who lives in the central Philippines. Daniel's family lives in extreme poverty, and he was seen trying to do his homework on a wooden stool placed close to a McDonald's window so he could catch the light from the shop. That is determination. The truth is, you are already among the world's elite in terms of the schooling you have received. So what are you going to do with this great position that you find yourselves in? Well, there's a couple of things I would suggest to you. First of all, be passionate. I would echo what my friend Helena has said. Love with all your hearts, for nothing in life is worth anything without passion. Be passionate about those you love, about what you do. Please promise me, if you are ever bored rigid in a job, leave. Find anything else to do. Don't stay with a partner just because you are scared to be alone. You deserve better. So, here's the thing, it comes with responsibilities, okay? So being passionate means that sometimes you're going to have to stand up. You have to participate in the world. Today, July the 16th, 2015, it's a big day for you. It's the day that you begin to take your place in the world as others have done before you, and my goodness, they have. It was today, July the 16th, in 1862, that Ida Bell Wells Barnett was born. Now, you may never have heard of her, but she was an African-American woman whose parents had both been slaves. She was born before the slaves were emancipated by President Lincoln, or before women achieved any say in the democratic process. Yet she became a journalist, a newspaper editor, a suffragist, a sociologist, and an early leader in the civil rights movement. She was a renowned speaker and gave international lecture tours, including here in Britain. And her life was threatened for her work, but she would not be silenced. Imagine her courage, and take some of that for yourselves. If you see a problem, just locally around you or on a grander forum, don't leave it up to someone else to solve. Take a leaf out of Ida's book and step up onto the stage. Now here you've had these fabulous academics guiding you, but now it's time for you to stride out on your own. Maybe do something that no one else has ever done before. Have vision, and don't listen to those who say something can't be done. It was today, July the 16th in 1969, that the space rocket Apollo 11 took off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, carrying the very first mission to land astronauts on the moon. Can you imagine what Dr. Dionysius Lardner, the 19th century professor of natural philosophy and astronomy at University College London, would have made of it? He was the man who in 1823 rather famously declared, "Rail travel at high speed is not possible because passengers unable to breathe would die of asphyxia." Words that I think Virgin Trains have taken to heart. Take a problem as a challenge, okay? Not an insurmountable obstacle. Don't leave it up to somebody else to solve. Work out what you can do for yourself. And sometimes, and this probably sounds strange from a chancellor, I recommend that you get angry. Okay? It's fine to see somebody in a rage if they're angry about something that needs changing. A couple of years ago, there were protests in London by students about the frankly appalling increase in university fees, which your generation has suffered. And my son was 16 at the time, and he phoned me up and asked me if he could participate. And I said to him, "Darling, here's the key thing you need to learn about protesting. You don't ask your mother, you just get on with it." For what you believe in, I would also urge you to allow some room for doubt. Don't be so extreme in your views that you don't allow space for the thought of others. I very much hope that the one thing you've definitely learned in your time here is that there are many ways to solve or view the same problem. And being so certain that you are right about something fails to allow for the possibility that someone else might have an even better idea. Cooperation and conciliation help us to survive. So, consider how you interact with the world. Now, this week, as it happens, is the 9th birthday of Twitter. It's one of the largest social media platforms in the world. Now, I don't tweet, but I'm not at all against all these fantastic, great technological developments for how we communicate. But here is my advice. Try and be of the moment. So what does that mean? Well, instead of texting and tweeting people who you are not with that you are having a wonderful time, try having a wonderful time with the people you are actually with. For the younger ones amongst you, sometimes that may even be your parents. Now that you're officially grown up, you may be shocked to discover there's more to them than you thought. Oh, and here's a really radical thought. Maybe stop taking pictures of yourself long enough to enjoy the view. But there we are. This is a complete sidebar, but when eventually you have kids of your own, there is a very useful rule of thumb that I would pass on. Never have more kids than you have car windows. Parents, a quick note to you, there may also be more to your kids than you thought, and you will soon discover this, as even children with degrees are unlikely to leave home, so good luck with that. What else? Beauty! You all look so beautiful today! And that's because it's a fantastic occasion and also because you are young. Here is the bad news. It's not going to last. Boys, your hair will go. Girls, you don't want to know what's going to go. Here is the good news. The world is a beautiful place, and your store of knowledge, even with a degree, is in its infancy. There are so many wonderful books to read, paintings to admire, and music to get lost in, and I envy you the journey ahead. Don't chase fame, it's fleeting to say the least, but don't dwell on your failures either. I have them all the time. You only have to look on the television channel Dave to see them. And they occur so that we can learn from them. But if you are running a race and you fall over a stick, standing and staring at the stick is not going to help you finish the race. You are part of a great human history. Learn from those who've gone before you and do enough that those who come after are grateful that you were here. You know, sometimes rough things will happen, but you can get through them. So I always think about Beethoven. I suspect his Ode to Joy is probably my favorite piece of music. It comes from the Ninth Symphony. It is a work of genius. By the time the symphony was ready to be performed, and here's one of the great ironies of life, Beethoven had gone profoundly deaf, and he never heard it. Nevertheless, on the night of the premiere, he was seen running through the streets of Vienna, shouting, "Grab life by the throat." Do that, for that is the best advice of all. Be proactive, be positive, dear God, be passionate. Go and change the world. I know you have it in you, and it certainly wants doing. Many congratulations. I formally declare this congregation of the University of Portsmouth closed. Please be upstanding.
Hein? Papier. Attends, zoom le rôle. Là, on filme bien le colo. Papier. Batele makanga binu. Bijaka zimu kutoka mwiza. Yeah. Yo digo que la próxima para la próxima.
Yeah, go. Ready? Yeah. Hi, my name is Nathalie Bolonge. I am the first daughter of Mr. Kulu, and I just finished my university. I am so proud. And peace. A lot more to come. God bless. Mwah.
Ali, mama, evenement yake esili olobini.
Evenement esili na sepele mingi. Mwana nanga liboso asisi classe na ye asali gradué na ye. Makambo nyonso eleki esili. Sikoyo tokomokende na ndako na bafamille na pokwa tokende na restaurant.
Ok. Ye moko leki ya mamu national olobini.
Papa koloba boye te nazali esengo makasi po bano bayaki mike. Nathalie aza mwana mama Nathalie te me aza mwana na ngai. Yango nazali esengo makasi na baki ata nazobela ndeni fo nakoma nakozanga te. Bon napesi ye vraiment longue vie akende liboso mwana bolamu asa lisusu ya mingi ya koleka.
Bakumisa nzambe po kokumisa nzambe po eza jour moko béni. Bon, et puis ya mibale na tondi baboti basali mosala bazali kosala mpo ntango nzambe apesi bino bana bosali bokokisi mosala ya bino ezala nde lokola bozoset exemple mpo ya bana oyo bazoya baleki na nini ezali inspiration moko ya monene bamona oyo yaya na bango ya liboso asali bango mpe balanda nzela wana eza deja jour moko ya monene mpo soki moboti alingaka mwana asilisa amona en tout cas kobokolo nga nabokoloki mwana boto nabotaki ezali mpo ya pamba te asali quelque chose. Nathalie azala mpo ya biso banso inspiration mpo te oyo bazoya nsima ba Joseph banani wana na oyo ya moke wana uti oyo ya ngolumaka wana bango bakende liboso. En tout cas tosepeli nde tozali awa biso nyonso ezali famille yango famille nde lokola tolinga biloko tozosala toluka basalela biso te tosala lokola ndenge bayebisi biso tozala motema moko makambo moko mpo tokenda liboso nzambe apatela
tomboye emili naikimi mamamba mbira njoyu melondre mboyane ayali bona bonkana ihe wunto nkomi mboye yosepela lona bakambo ahanda kera angokere bakamba mo banene tina ihe binabiyeho bana wuke bapitana bana wuke babota bapohe yake kara me lolokolone Nathalie awokela yumba enene awoka musa bantu me topa yankola nzambe akende abale abote bo bana atotike bandoi tongo ye yo paya nyange kinde ihe kinde merci andengenga bakitie bona awokitane huki bo inkumato banko njakomba awo salisi merci
mwana oyo
wapi alikita
azali ganga fil ndenge kaka ozomona me nautaki koloba liboso nebande nalobi lokumu topesi epai ya nzambe awa na mokili ezali na bafondation ya monene ezali epai ya yaya na ngai sango mpo ye nde abandaki nzela oyo asali ke ngai nakomi bana mpe balandi ngai na mama ya bango lelo asali oyo asali topesi lokumu mpo ezali makambo ekowutaka epai ya nzambe apesi biso tokokisi misala na biso baboti ezala mpo ya baninga baleki na ye lokola exemple monene oyo bango bakoyeba kolanda mpo nazali soki nazongi na nsima bazali koyebisa kamarala ya alobi nakozonga na kotika klasi lisusu te mpo baboti na ngai bakoloba na baleki na ngai bino peti na totinda bino ezali te mpo bandeko na bino baeshiwaki ye alakisi exemple ke réussite donc baninga mpe balanda lokolo wana ekosala esengo ya biso namona moboti oyo asepelaka na kokweya ya mwana te moboti alingaka lelo nyonso aseka mwana azokende liboso esi lisui yango lelo tozali na koseka mpo mwana alakisi biso ke akoki kosala ndenge bakonzi na bango balobi kuna ke bokende boinfluence mokili tolobi na ye mpe kende liboso influence mokili kovandela tvt influence mokili osi ozwi knowledge ebele osi okoli kende Nathalie kende de la merci.
Nashukuru sana napiga asante.
Mama makasi.
Nashukuru sana napiga asante. Hii message natuma Kishasa kwa watu wa Kishasa. Natumia mama. Natumia mama Chiko. Natumia Gileni. Natumia Yoze. Natumia familia mzima na batumia mimi nasema Nathalie anamaliza masomo. Anamaliza masomo leo le 16. mtoto tulimbalisha chapeau yake, anamaliza masomo, atatumika kazi na bandugu yake wanyuma batamfuata. Tukia pasie bote Charlotte na watoto yake, Pere Mila Lukuya, mama Maribiaso iko hapa, tuko na mama Amba iko hapa, tuko na familia yote yenye tunakuwaka nabo hapa Londres, tuko hapa mugini ya wazungu, tuko nabo hapa kwetu Portsmouth. Tunamaliza sasa, tunataka kwenda kufurahi kwa restaurant. Njoo basi, njoo tumpatie, tunatema mate chini. Mungu mbariki.
Just want to say I'm very, very proud of you, Nathalie. You're the big sister in the family, so you know you have to lead by example. I know how hard university is, so I'm really, really proud of the fact that you really pushed through and you finished with a really good mark. Now, is that F? Vanda, Tondaku, Tongi by business.
I think I need to get to in this one. Hold on a second. Which one is, wait now, wait. Which one is Kobota Bana? Zena nanu naloba. I don't understand. Exactly, thank you very much. What about Kobota na Babana? What about yourself?
Doctorat. Même à ta doctorat, Mazana Libala.
Il y a cause à la professeur visiteur.
Mais oui. What about yourself?
Libali bazali banjinji. Banjinji bakoya. Tolingi mwana kele libozo.
Allez, Silisa.
I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. I wish you all the best.
Nana tigala loba. Charlie. Mouken.
Voilà, merci mingi pour la journée.
Maman Makasi.
Merci mingi pour la journée. Lelo na sepeli. Tande na bisala bino na zara liboso na bino ko na komela bino un plus pour la mabota na biso. Ya liboso na za ko encourager nanu ba parents o bazana bana na kati ya bandako. Eza responsabilité ya biso ba mama na ba papa ko encourager bana na biso. Ba parents belé ba finga ka bana na bango ke mwana za zoba mwana zoba zala te. Bana nyuso bazaka mayele. Mais je senga biso ba parents to encourager bana na biso ko bakende liboso. Soki biso ba parents tozwaki opportunité wana ter aussi sa classe mais bana na biso bazwi opportunité wana to encourager bango ko ezali futur ya bana na biso. Nazo encourager pe ba jeune o basi ba boti. Retard ezaka na vite. Attention boti bana combien telema zongela classe. Tozo mona ba bazana ba 40 ans, ba 30 ans, ba 45 ans bazozonga classe. Lelo soki naza awa pona moni batu bazana ba âge koleka. Bazozwa toujours bazozwa ko sala graduation. Yo muto fani na ndako eza retard. Te soko sala kere obotaki zwa mwana kendene na crèche zongela classe po ezali avenir. Mobali aza malamu mais lelo mobala koti ko mais soko za na musala na yo ozali na classe na osilisi oko continuer vie na yo. Yango nazo encourager bino ba tozo talanga en tout cas na bino mingi image na memeli bino et encourager bino ete ya bino et puis ça la biso nyonso to kene liboso yango na linga bino na roba mingi te lelo taki grâce à
la pambola yo mama bana.
Let me see the zone. No, I'm not gonna say anything, huh? Okay, today's my sister. I just want to congratulate my sister. Obviously today's a big day. I just want to wish her all the best with the future. And yeah, that's all really. And yeah, everything comes with it. So yeah. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Même si on a même séqué, par noir, on peut faire alors, parce que par noir, on est pas ouest africain, mais ça va qui va se chocolat. That's why we are brown, we are not black. It's because of your ancestral. Voilà, bah c'est qui là, c'est là, il y a ça, cerveau, là, c'est pas là-bas. Voilà, bah c'est ça, parce que soko za ka businessman, on va pas bêtise aux autres. Ça solo ya. Quoi c'est wa taille là. Non non, on va ça. Bah pour les syllabes les gens vont venir en fait. C'est pas bien. On n'a pas changé foreign policy. Il y a vraiment on a pas musulman, parce que ça
Abi oyo ngana mona kaka libala mene tozobite na mesi yango Father, what is
Depois ela botou a minha avó de um hospital general por mais da lá. Ela que sangana da imagem da cidade fazendo na cola. Macadamia
Aïe, Nani passait le problème, c'est ce qui s'est passé dans East London, dans le but de Salouan, LPC, ici Gandai, puis aux autres,
a payé ses indications. La mort qu'on a quand on avait une indication qu'on avait dit, les pas de son micro de dos sur la banane, on a pas monté. You know me, I'm a Kevin so much. There's no student.
But don't you go get it and leave?
Maman, mais elle a quitté? c'est non salam salam. Hey.
No, you ask him.
Mom, you're right. I'm feeling dizzy, how many have you had? Hein? Azali banda. Kasi yung dahil siya ito kwatro.
Conférence de Berlin. Bazoua domaine privé là-bas. Comment ils ont commis Canet? Il faut que vous allez ici, ok? Je vais passer au pied là-bas.
Masolo eza kovanda eza kotika. Awa. Makambo esa mai.
Tokende soki mama akomi. Olinga kosala filma kiyo. Olangira kata kamera. Ome. Boya libanda semie. Awa makelele eza mingi kuna tia ba micro eza musala. Ah mais yo loba makasi eh.
So the whole family's here. We had food, we've eaten. It's like my 10th plate. Again, just congratulations, Nathalie. Family's here for you, and we're very proud of you as well. And yes, best luck to the future.
This is just to say thank you to everyone who just came to my graduation and then to the party. It's been a very wonderful day, and thank you to everyone, and I really appreciate it. So, God bless. Thank you.